decided to come to Fort Clark to meet his friend's son, who was making quite a name for himself. He and Tye had spent a lot of time talking about Ben and those times in the Rockies. Buff never spent a day in school, so he could not read or write, but he could give an officer who graduated from the Point a number of lessons they were not taught at any school in fighting Indians. He always told them with a laugh that they would be graded out here not by A's or B's, but if they lived or died. If they lived, they passed until the next test, and there always would be another one. He was popular among the troops, not only because he represented a time they had only read about, but they loved to listen to him talk in that mountain man jargon. He sat down on the porch next to Tye with his cup of coffee.
"Heard you moving around making the coffee, but I was snug in the bed and decided to just lay there for a while. Still wondering why you want to get out of bed so early with that there wife being so purty."
Never been one to sleep late, Buff. If I stayed in bed, I'd just toss and turn and wake her up. Buff laughed.
"Now, what could be wrong with that?"
"You must be feeling a little feisty today," Tye replied, laughing. Neither said anything for a couple of minutes, as both just sat there, drinking coffee and waiting for the sun to break the horizon. The only sound was the babbling of nearby Los Moros Creek, where it flowed around some rocks. Buff knew his friend was troubled. He broke the silence.
"Little nervous about today?"
"I know Yancey has to pay for what he's done, but I'm not happy like I thought I would be about him hanging. When we first caught him, I told him I'd be on the front row, enjoying the show. Now, I don't know. A kind of sick feeling is in my stomach when I think about it." Buff took another swallow of coffee, thinking about what he was going to say.
"Tye, you are all the good things that God put into people. Old Yance there, he's all the bad. The good book says that everyone has to answer for his life on this here earth. It says man reaps what he sows, or something like that. That there man done a lot of bad things, and he has to answer for 'em to the man upstairs. You did this country a big favor by bringing him in. Saved a lot of lives."
"Didn't think you could read, Buff," Tye said, smiling, thinking of the verses Buff had quoted.
"Can't, but my mama made sure she read to us kids from the Bible every day. Those days was special to me and my brothers. Wish I knew if any of them was still alive."
"You don't know?" Buff set his coffee cup down and spoke in a low, wistful voice.
"No, I don't. Been moving around too long. Never got around to tracking them down. Onlyest thing other than not seeing your pa again before he died that I regret."
Tye thought for a few minutes and came up with the idea that maybe the Army could help Buff track his relatives down. He would check with Major Thurston on it. "Let's get another cup, Buff. It's still an hour or so till first light." Yancey Cates was doing what he had been doing all night, pacing his jail cell floor. He had been sure that he would have escaped this Yankee cell by now, but all his attempts had failed. Now he was only hours from the hangman. He was upset at not escaping, but more than that, his not being able to kill the man responsible for his being here. That damn scout Wakins. He and a few soldiers had killed his whole gang, including his brother. He had sworn to escape and kill Watkins the first time he saw him with no warning. "Looks like that ain't happening," he thought to himself. "Damn," he cursed.
"You say something, Yancey?"
the guard asked.
"Go to hell, you Yankee bastard."
"I might, Yancey, but guess what?